What's up, everyone? So here we are with Samhain right around the corner, and I gotta tell you, here in New England, I can really feel the vibe so much more than down south where I was born and raised. The atmosphere here is thick with the anticipation, mystery, and excitement of the darker time of the year, and especially the upcoming sacred evening when the veils are known to be at their thinnest. These veils that separate the worlds of living from the dead, or numerous ideas similar to this, have been a staple for this time of the year for centuries and in some cases even millennia. In Wicca, Samhain is the time when our god is thought to cross the boundaries between the living and the dead in preparation of being reborn at the very next Sabbath known as Yule or the winter solstice. Upon crossing through these veils, he holds for a moment with one foot in the world of the living and one foot in the world of the dead. This causes the veils to remain open between the two worlds. This is why so many people believe this is the best time of the year to communicate with the dead in whatever manner you choose to use. Some will use a pendulum, some people will use a Ouija board, some will just quiet their senses and minds and wait for a message, either in consciousness or in dream state. In many cultures, the dead are invited or contacted and honored. In essence, the living are letting the dead know that they have not been forgotten and that it's only a matter of time before we're all together once again. There are many ways and methods to honoring our passed on friends and family. For years, up until present day, I have known a community of witches to honor their passed on friends and family with what is called an ancestor chair. Everyone in attendance will write on a piece of paper something that they want to say to a specific relative. These are then pinned to a wooden chair. At the Samhain celebration that evening, always held outside around a bonfire, at a certain point in the ritual, the group will do what's called opening the veils. During this act, half of the group dance diesel or clockwise, and the other half dance widdershins or counterclockwise, whilst they chant a specific phrase that basically commands that the veils be opened and present within their circle. After a few moments of working up this energy, they'll pause and focus on listening. Messages are then received and shouted out loud amongst the participants, and names of passed on friends and relatives are called out as well as a sort of invitation to be present for the evening with explicit instruction that when the sunlight doth appear, be gone from this realm but return next year. The messages that are received and called out could be to anyone, as some receive messages better than others. Some are just more talented at channeling, in other words, sort of creating a spiritual switchboard of communication. One person may shout a message that makes absolutely no sense to them, but totally hit home with a person on the other side of the circle. Many times after this flurry of names and messages, a recipient of a message may tell the person who received and called out the message, "Hey, that message was from me, from my passed on father, thank you." At the end, we will take the ancestor chair with the notes on it and throw it on the bonfire and watch as it burns, carrying our messages to our ancestors and loved ones. Another thing we will do after is feast. This in essence helps ground everyone, and we usually worked up a pretty good appetite by the time the ritual is closed. At this feast, we prepare a dumb supper. So dumb in this occasion refers to silence, not like being an idiot. So this dining experience is held in complete silence from the time you enter the dining room to participate until the end when the plates are removed. The table is set with the honored guest or guests at the head of the table. The guest's favorite food should be prepared and placed with their picture or representation of the guest. Decorations should be to your taste, but many will decorate a little dark to fit the time of the year and the occasion at hand. Some of you may want to be very upbeat in decorations to promote happiness and cheeriness. You know, it's up to you. You do what you gotta do. Also, the dinner should be to candlelight or very dim lighting. Regardless, once the dinner has begun, all will eat and drink in silence. No asking to pass the potatoes or how's your day, etc., etc. Complete silence and contemplation. Afterwards, if you wish, you can sit around and tell stories of your loved ones, of occurrences and milestones in their lives when they were living. Try and keep the stories upbeat to counter the melancholy during the supper. So next I'm going to introduce an example of a dumb supper that we put on for you guys so that you can see how it goes. So check it out. all is done, the spirit's meals should be disposed of by either burying the meal in the earth, burned, or dispersed in a lake, river, or ocean as to ultimately give offering to the spirit you've honored. Some will also just take the food to a clearing in the woods and let nature consume the bounty of honor.